Do you believe that extraterrestrials exist? I do. For thousands of years, humans have been intrigued by space and the secrets it holds. Whether it is space rocks, asteroids, black holes, or other planets, scientists are always making new discoveries. However, what interests most people is the age old question: do extraterrestrials exist? Over the past few years, there have been more and more sightings and reports of UFOs, or unidentified flying objects in the sky above Earth, which tells us that we are not alone. Throughout time, people have witnessed strange objects and lights in the sky prior to the invention of cameras, video recording devices, and phones. People would draw or paint pictures to document their sightings of unexplained lights and unidentified flying objects. Currently, with the internet, you only need to do a Google search to view the countless videos of unexplained occurrences in the skies above our planet. Many of the videos can be debunked and ruled as fake. However, there are a few videos that are unexplained and leave you with more questions than answers. In addition, scientists have witnessed unexplained objects viewed from satellites in space orbiting the Earth. Even the United States government has released videos that remain unexplained to date. According to the website www.space.com, the Pentagon has implemented a new task force called Nature and Origins. The goal of this task force is to investigate UFO sightings and reports. Posted on the space.com website are three videos that show video taken by U.S. Navy pilots who spotted UFOs in the sky above the Pacific Ocean. The audio of the videos clearly details that U.S. Navy pilots have no idea what it is that they see flying in the sky. The listener can clearly tell that the pilots are a little freaked out over this sighting in 1977. At the age of 10 years old, my father believes he saw a UFO hovering over his backyard in East Amherst, New York. He was swinging on the swing set with a friend when they both witnessed a silver disc-shaped object hovering in the sky. He ran into the house to grab a camera, and when he returned, the disc was gone. Certainly, some of these UFO sightings could be visiting intelligent life forms from other planets, systems, or galaxies. There are many first-hand accounts of people being abducted by aliens or extraterrestrial beings. Abductees typically went missing for a few days or weeks. When returned, the abductee was found at or close to the area where they disappeared. When questioned by authorities, the abductee claimed they were abducted by aliens. The abductee could explain in full detail what the aliens looked like, how many aliens there were, and what the spacecraft looked like. The abductees recounted that when abducted, the aliens would perform experiments on them. Abductees could explain what happened to them in full detail and had cuts to prove experimentation. One abductee recounted in detail a solar system that had yet to be discovered by scientists. Also, her dress was torn and she had a weird substance on her dress that scientists still don't know what it is to this day. Information regarding this abduction is from a documentary on UFOs and aliens abduction aired on Travel Channel a few weeks ago. According to the website www.history.com, another account of alien abduction is the abduction of Barney and Betty Hill. Barney and Betty Hill were abducted in New Hampshire's White Mountains one September night in 1961. Barney and Betty Hill said that a strange light was following their car. They pulled over to the side of the road, and Betty looked at it with binoculars and said that the light was an object spinning in the air. There was no sound coming from the object, so it couldn't have been a plane, jet, or helicopter. The object hovered above 100 feet. Barney stopped the car and grabbed his handgun from beneath the seat and put it into his pocket. He got out of the car and described the object as big as a jet and as round and flat like a pancake. Behind rows of windows, gray uniformed beings looked at him. Barney tried to grab his pistol but couldn't move, and a voice told him to not put down his binoculars. Barney had a startling thought that they were going to be captured. Barney ran back into the car and started barreling down the road as Betty tracked the object chasing them. Without explanation, rhythmic beeps sounded from the car's trunk. Then they both felt drowsy and lost consciousness. They gained consciousness 2 hours later and 35 miles down the road. After their abduction, it was reported that both their watches stopped working throughout the time they were abducted. Barney's shoes were all scuffed up, Betty's dress was ripped, and there was a time span of 2 hours that both Barney and Betty did not remember anything. Both Barney and Betty described the alien abductors as having large eyes and their whole bodies were a gray color. According to the website www.archives.gov, the U.S. Air Force created a secret document called Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book detailed the investigated sightings of UFOs, including Barney and Betty's Hill abduction. Project Blue Book was created by the U.S. government in 1952 to investigate UFO sightings. Project Blue Book was disbanded on January 19, 1970. The two primary goals of Project Blue Book were 1. To determine if UFOs were a threat to national security, and 2. To scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Many people have observed flying objects crashing into Earth. In Roswell, New Mexico, a farmer found wreckage of a spacecraft with alien corpses. The farmer took photo evidence of the crash and collected some shrapnel at the crash site. Shortly after the crash, United States government officials and military personnel secured the crash site and removed all of the evidence. After the farmer was told to never talk about the crash, officials told the news reporters that a weather balloon malfunctioned and crashed. According to the website www.history.com, the crash happened the summer of 1947 on a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. W. Mac Brazel found the wreckage on his ranch. Brazel recovered some of the evidence from the crash and took the evidence to the local sheriff. Sheriff George Wilcox of Roswell, New Mexico, then contacted Colonel William Blanchard, the commanding officer of the Roswell Army Airfield. Colonel Blanchard and his squadron cleaned up the wreckage as if nothing ever happened. According to Brazel, there were alien bodies taken from the site, but the U.S. Air Force said that they were fallen parachute test dummies. The U.S. government then changed the story about the Roswell saucer the next day. The U.S. Army dismissed the claims of a flying saucer and said it was a weather balloon crash. In 1994, the U.S. Air Force released a new report regarding the Roswell, New Mexico crash, stating the weather balloon story had been bogus. At this time, the U.S. government was claiming that what crashed was a device used to spy on the USSR called Project Mogul. What makes people on Earth think that they are the only form of life in the universe? The universe has millions of galaxies, which include billions and billions of planets. With such a large expanse of planets, systems, and galaxies unexplored in our universe, how can scientists be sure humans are the only life form? One could argue that if our planet can sustain intelligent life, other planets could as well. All unexplained photo/video evidence, alien abductions, UFO sightings, and unexplained objects in the sky lead to the conclusion that extraterrestrials exist, and you never know when, where the sighting next will occur. Remember, we are not alone.